We're rolling.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Nerdbuzzed.
Nerdbuzzed doesn't condone the consumption of alcohol by any persons under the age of 21. Please drink responsibly.
Dude, not cool. Welcome to Nerdbuzzed, the podcast where we talk about all the nerdy stuff that we care about and drink a cool frosty brew while we're doing it. I'm your host, Mark Ellinger. With me as always,
Jeremiah Johnson.
And we let him out of intern camp. He's back once again.
Jack Hughes.
This is episode 102, right? Wow.
102.
Wow. Triple dig. So, we're going to talk about The Last Jedi. It's our big topic for the whole episode. We have lots of good things to say about it.
Yeah.
We all have little barf buckets for every time we say something good.
Oh my god.
But before we do that, because we always talk too much, and I digress, we go over to Jay.
For the brew.
That's right.
Because it's not the beer.
It's not the beer, it is the brew.
No,
This is kind of the year of the brews.
It is.
It is.
It really is. We tried adventuring out and didn't make it too far, but...
Baby steps.
Yes.
Baby steps. We don't want to have a Last Jedi scenario.
Oh my god. Alright. Anyway, clearly you guys disliked it more than I did.
Yeah,
Oh, we're going to get into that.
I'm looking up the reviews. I'm looking up the review scores right now. I just want to see.
But anyway, so we are drinking some of your dad's mead.
That's right. He was inspired by our mead adventures this year.
Yes, and so it was... The name of his brewery
His
is
brewery.
Mead.
Is mead. The
So
acronym
it's
MEAD.
Mark Ellinger Adventures in Drinking.
Yep.
In drinking.
That's right. Yes. The in
In.
is lowercase because
Yeah.
it's like of America,
Yeah.
right? It's
It's not really
implied. We assume it's there, right? Yeah.
there. Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the plum, you said?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully we will know by tasting it, right? It smells like mead.
It smells very sweet. Very fruity.
And because this is like
Almost smells like lipstick.
I can see that. Yeah. Because this is my dad's first adventures in his brewing. This is very garage style, and we're going to assume that the percentage is about 8%.
Okay.
That's what he's kind of.
So what you're saying is he didn't do the readings properly.
No, he did not before, not in the middle, just at the end, and then he went to see what the numbers were, and he's like, "Oh crap!
Yeah, I should have done that to begin with.
I should have done this throughout the process, right?"
Yeah.
So, but based on everything he could figure out, he's saying it's like between like 7 and 9, so I'm gonna call it 8.
Okay, 8% it is.
Yeah, because I'm good at math.
So, but little cloudy. Could use a little filter.
It is a little cloudy, and
It's
he
a
did
little bit-
filter it several times.
What do you use for a filter? I mean, just coffee.
I have no idea.
You probably just use coffee filters.
He might have, yeah. Well, and I think that a lot of it, when he racked it, right? Correct term? As he did that, it all settles,
Yeah.
right? And then he would just, like, pour it off each time.
So he should have a racking cane so he doesn't disturb.
Is that, like, a tube that goes in it and siphons it out?
Yes.
Okay, I think he did do that.
Okay.
As far as the rest of the process, I'm not sure how strictly regulated it all was. So I think it's like garage mead, like a garage band, though. You know,
is.
which a lot of times I'm in favor of. It's when there's
And kind of
passion.
fruity.
Yeah, right, yeah. I'm really curious to try it. I tried his regular, just the honey mead.
Okay.
I tried that one. I've not tried this one, and it was fine. I didn't have any complaints about it. I wouldn't say it was like the best mead I've ever had, but I haven't had a lot of mead, but it's not the worst mead I've had either. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway,
What are you
Jack's
drinking,
got-
Jack?
Oh, nice of you to ask. Well, fellow Jack Hughesers, fans of mine, might know that this is, I guess, technically the second root beer, or I guess it is root beer, I drank on all of Nerdbuzzed in preparation for thinking about what my favorite root beer was of the year. I realized I didn't review my first 2 root beers, so the next 10 episodes.
He is
we're
all
doing-
about time travel today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You really are.
Yeah. I wish I could go back.
I made a mistake
and
and
not
asked him.
watch that movie. But point is, I didn't review this yet, and so yeah, I just figured might as well do it over the next couple episodes.
Nice. I appreciate the dedication, Jack. I knew there was a reason we kept him around. I'm
I
still looking for it.
I just think he
but
wanted to
there's
go
a
back to
reason
the
somewhere.
cock and balls.
Yeah, right. He can't get away from those
What's a
balls. He
pocket-
likes them in his
oh my
mouth.
God. I can still taste those.
Taste the balls
so
in your mouth.
gross.
That's what I've heard
I can-
happens.
Oh my God.
You get a taste for it, and then you can't keep them out.
No, I don't.
Now
want
he's
it.
got the whole cock and balls in his
I
mouth.
know.
Oh God.
Right? You brought this
It's just
on
been
yourself.
one. My life is just one big joke at this point. Yeah. Much like Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. I'm done with that.
All right.
You're not. You know
So
you're
you
not.
ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Kick it off.
To all the nerds,
Through all the fuzz.
bottoms up. Let's get nerd buzzed. Clankety clankety.
I thought I was
because
gonna
we
kick
love
it
each
off.
other.
That's what I thought.
You could go back in time.
That's good. That's a
Oh,
good
that is
balance.
pretty good. It's a little sweet. What honey did he use?
No idea.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it came out of a big bear though.
So it's not hyper filtered.
No, I
it
don't
doesn't
think
taste
so.
hyper filtered.
I don't think so. I want to say he did his research. He went to the brewery store in Mount Vernon or Burlington.
Yeah.
Right up north of
Yeah,
us. And
northwest.
he talked to the guys there and got all the stuff he needed to do it. So he had all the equipment. I think it was just the execution more that was the kind of the rookie element of it. Which, not to like discredit it in any way. It's the first one, right? Like he will get better as he does it. But he had all the recipe and the ingredients to do it.
He did a pretty decent job, I think.
It sounds like a Mark. That sounds like a Mark thing. I was like, wait, what am I saying?
It totally is.
Yeah,
like
no,
if you
he's-
know
he's
my
a-
dad,
he's an
this,
artist. Yeah,
this
he's-
is what my dad does.
He dedicates.
He flies
himself
by the
to
seat
just
of his pants
weird
everywhere he
stuff.
goes.
Yeah. No, isn't that how the place is built? He was just kind of like, or how your glass studio.
Kind
It's
of.
just
Yeah.
kind of like, well,
It's kind of his MO.
yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna do it myself. So
But this is definitely
good on
plum.
you.
Definitely plum.
yeah.
It's got a lot of plum flavor.
If you
to
made
it.
root beer, I'd drink it.
I like the. It's got some good tartness
Yeah.
to it.
But it's not like the
It's not like the sour plum. From
No.
Sir.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's not like
Yeah.
that abrasively sour. It's actually it's balanced pretty well.
It is balanced very well.
Yeah. Kudos, Dad.
You should save some of this and bring it up to Eric and let him try it.
He has like 4 more bottles.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. This
That's
wasn't the only one. That's probably why we got it. Because it wasn't the only one. But no, I think it's actually pretty good too. It doesn't have any sort of like astringency to it, really. I haven't really noticed. I'm curious to try it warm. We've learned this past year that it's worth it to try your meads warm and cold. So this is our cold taste. We'll
do
do a
gotta
hot
admit,
taste.
My initial assumption with mead being warm was kind of like sake being warm.
Yeah.
And by serving cheap sake warm, it masks a lot of the flavors that cheap sake has.
Oh, okay.
So-
So it's probably good we try it cold first.
But then
Yeah.
what it?
Yeah.
What
But
it
I
also,
said that's what I assumed with mead was warm. So when Eric was like, "You guys have to try it warm," I'm like, "Really? Is that?"
Yeah.
But no, it's totally worth it with the mead.
Well, and because it completely changes the flavor profiles, which it just brings different things to the forefront, which is I was blown away by. And sometimes I think it's better, and maybe personally for you, your preference, it might be worse, but then you just drink it cold, or
Yeah,
you drink
well,
whatever
so
one tastes better for you.
We were opposites on the. On the liquor fruit.
Yeah.
You liked it.
What was that?
I
Go
said
ahead.
You liked it warmer, and I liked it colder.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and I'm that way with one of my favorite alcoholic drinks. I'm going to sound like a frat boy, but is Jägermeister, right? Like, I like Jäger, and I prefer it warm because it's way easier to drink.
I don't like Jaeger at all in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, if you had to drink it, would you drink it warm or cold?
I've never had it warm, so I can't.
Oh, I prefer it room temperature. It's way easier to suck it down.
Speaking of,
Let's have this one warm because we'll get to Jack later.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what he's
I'm
all
just
about.
I'm stewing in some hatred right now.
He's looking up reviews and hoping he's vindicated in his opinion.
God, I don't know how this
try it
is.
singing. All right.
Let's do it.
Wow. It gets really tart, and you can almost taste the wax and honey.
I think my opinion is the same versus warm or cold, though. I don't think I really have a preference to either way. Again, I think it's pretty balanced. Kudos, Dad.
Yeah. No, it's pretty good. I actually kind of like this one warm a little better.
It's easier to drink. It's definitely. I also think changing the temperature changes the viscosity of it. Is that the appropriate word? and I think it's a little easier to drink when it's warmer.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm usually opposed to warm drinks, though, so...
And again, it doesn't really bring out any sort of like astringent alcohol flavor in it.
No, this one's it's easy to drink. You could drink a lot of it way too easily.
Yeah. No, props.
Yeah.
Props, Dad.
Good job.
Good job. Totally good job. I'm excited. He has other kinds that he's made, so maybe I'll raid my dad's liquor cabinet. I haven't done that for so long. That'll be awesome. I'm excited. As an adult, raiding my dad's liquor cabinet.
That's hilarious.
All right, Jack, lay it on us because we care now. Let's do it.
I've seen an overwhelmingly positive amount of reviews. Like it has, I think,
That's
a
what
92 on. I think it was an 86 on Metacritic and 92 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
So Rotten Tomatoes keeps going down, though.
How does the root beer? Let's dive into the root beer
The
first.
root beer is really good. I think it's a really good balance. I mean, it's not really that root beery. It does advertise it as a ginger beer, and that's what it is. But it's better than the what did I have before? I had the Canada Dry, definitely better than that. And it was better than the last one I had.
Canada.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But the last one I had, I felt like it wasn't. It was trying to be a root beer and a ginger beer, and it was
Anchor one.
What?
The Anchor one.
Yeah, and it was being like half of both. Like it was a cool combination, but it wasn't like I don't know. It didn't. I felt like it had a lot of potential. Like it had so much potential, but in the execution, it delivered only a little bit. Segue.
Yeah,
Segue
right. As
from
we
that,
dive into a segue. Before we dive into our segue, before we do that, our nerd play, we are going to just let that ride because we're going to just play.
Is not a good game.
Yeah, right.
I tried it. It wasn't good.
It's not. It's so cliche. It's such a terrible like God of War.
It's boring.
Like 2000s game ripoff. It just is. It's a formula that's been done a million times, and there's nothing fresh and new about it. Even though it's number 2, so it's like a formula of itself. It's beyond repetitive.
Yeah.
But before we do that, our nerd play that we are going to play is just whatever was our favorite. We're going to dive into it and make sure it's our favorite. Same with our anime until we get into our next year. So before we dive into our Star Wars The Last Jedi, as always, we need to promote ourselves.
Of course.
If we entertain you in any way, shape, or form, please mash that subscribe button in odd number increments so that you stay subscribed. We really appreciate it. And if you would like to have some sweet Nerdbuzz garb, like these people right here.
Garb. That's cool.
You like that?
Yeah.
I thought I'd switch it up today.
Yeah.
Everything's fresh and new.
Wow,
Go to
segue.
right, go to Patreon Nerdbuzzed for $35 there. You can get a shirt, a swag bag with a shirt and some magnets and stickers, the whole shebang. $35, sweet deal. Do it because they're going fast.
Do it.
That's right.
Do it, Anakin.
I'm trying to create demand. That's very Nintendo of me.
It is.
That's where I learned that.
The thing about it is you have stock.
That's right. Yeah.
You can get that. You can go to the store and get that.
No, because I'm only giving every store 2 of them, and then I'm just going to hoard them in a warehouse and say I have none.
Yeah.
And then people will sell them on eBay for like $300.
I work at GameStop, and that's how the NES classics are. Like we never get them. The moment we get them, they're sold out. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Or the Super Nintendo classics. We don't. The NES classics are out of. They're not making them anymore.
Yeah.
Because they hate the consumer.
Right? So, thanks for doing all that. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff.
Also follow
keep
me.
watching. Yeah, follow Jack because, there's an example. Let's dive into Star Wars The Last Jedi, which we just watched, one of us, for the second time.
Yeah.
Should we go to Jay first, since you've seen it twice?
Well, are we
Should I
going to
put you on
talk
the
about
spot?
our hopes and fears? Because I think that's actually really important.
Okay. I agree with you. It's just every time I've tried to do that when we have a movie, we seem to just roll into what we feel about it right away. That I was going to skip it, but I'm totally down to do that.
I
think
kind
that's
of
a
have
good
my
point.
impressions. I saw the trailer, and it was like really dark, and I kind of thought like coming hot off the heels of Rogue One, it's like Star Wars is going to get a little edgier, in the back alley, you got guys snapping, they're like, hey,
He is
kid, come
time
here.
traveling, isn't
Like
he?
the Jets and the Sharks, he's totally time traveling today.
Yeah.
Like, not entirely like people are going to like.
Do you have a switchblade?
No.
Okay.
It's a comb.
I got
It's a
this.
comb, right? Yeah.
But it's not entirely going to be super violent, swearing all the time. But it was like a change in direction. And seeing the trailer, I was really excited for what the movie had to offer, because it just had this like totally ominous tone of just like no hope at all. Yeah, that's and I honestly I didn't really fear anything except for the annoying, weird penguin monster things that you see in the trailer
with the big, huge eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or I just thought it was going to be the one,
the snack creature.
There's a lot
Yes.
more.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
fight
Well,
snack.
okay,
Handy
yeah.
snack.
So now,
Yeah.
I didn't really fear anything except for that.
As far as my concerns for it, we were going to start with you, but now we're going to make you last. My concerns for it were I was really afraid that Luke was going to die in a very Obi-Wan fashion. It was going to be very Empire to a fault, right? Empire is one of my absolute favorite Star Wars movies. I think it's the one that, out of every Star Wars movie that's been out there, it's my personal favorite. It's the one that I think it starts so well, it ends so well, the pacing through it is so good. It's awesome. So I was really afraid after the first movie that this one was going to be so cliche Star Wars that it was going to burn me out, right? And I got some of those vibes from the trailer, and I was afraid when they had said The Last Jedis, right? It's Jedis, which is just Jedi, unless you're looking in their eyeballs. We already went over that.
Yes.
That it was going to be Luke, and that he was going to die in this total cloak drop fashion. And that was my biggest fear going into this.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think? Did you have any? What did you think from the trailers and all the hype?
From the hype in the trailers, I tried to avoid it for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm just total fanboy when it comes to the Star Wars stuff, so I'm just excited to see what they do.
Yeah.
I'm not really. I was worried about the whole Empire thing, though,
That it was going to be
because-
way too cliche Empire.
because the other one followed A New Hope so well.
Yeah. Which I think for that movie, because we're like reintroducing a new generation whilst bringing along the original fans of Star Wars, I think that one is okay. Like, I think it's okay that they relied so much on the source material while still kind of making it. There were still some really fresh and new elements in there, but it definitely rode the coattails of its source material, which I think is fine to skate into that new era. I think it needed that. I was in that boat too of like, don't do that too much though. Don't make this new one too Empire.
I was and can we get into watching this now?
Okay, yeah, go for it. From the guy who's seen it twice.
Wait, are we going to spoil it right off the gate?
Should we just say there's going to be spoilers?
Yeah,
There just is going to be spoilers.
I'm just going to give my general opinion. Didn't like it.
That's it. Okay. Spoiler free reviews. Should we
Okay,
do that first?
sure.
Jack doesn't like it.
Nope.
Doesn't like it. There were elements in this movie that I did like, and it kind of made me giggle. There were too many moments in this movie that made me laugh out of absurdity.
Yes.
That's my general review of the movie.
Yeah.
If you want a spoiler free, that's what I could give you.
Yeah.
Doesn't deserve a 92.
First time watching it, I was left confused on what I wanted to think about it. Second time watching it, I can't explain why, but I enjoyed it 100 times better.
Really?
Yes. But yes,
Do you think that has anything to do?
the comic relief was something that was blatantly staring me in the face the first time watching it, and I didn't care for.
Yeah.
Not that they had it, but the way that they used it. And it was even worse the second time, that part of it.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe watching it the second time was better because you were somewhat aware of what you were going into?
Yeah, I think that was a lot of it there.
That helped it? Yeah.
Yeah. And I was able to assimilate it, like just process it, what was going on, how it was relating to the rest of the universe, the Star Wars universe, and what was going on, and how they're doing things. You know, connect some of the dots, maybe make some assumptions between the first and second time,
Yeah.
and go and watching it again with some of those assumptions made, and actually got a little bit of validation on a couple of them, but not most of it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you have to watch it a third time.
No.
This is not my favorite Star Wars movie by any means. There's a lot of reviews out there that are comparing it with Empire, which I just
No.
ranted and raved about.
To be the spoiler portion of this,
Yeah.
had they ended it at the Snoke scene, it would have been Empire. If they just stopped it right there, it would have been Empire.
Where Snoke gets severed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, spoilers now. Whoops.
Yeah,
he just
right.
dies.
We already said that.
Wouldn't it
we're
have
into
been
the
cool
spoiler
to know
part.
who he was? I guess not. Unless he just comes back, which he's probably going to, which will just make me more angry.
They'll probably do it the same way they did Darth Maul in the animated series.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Come back with robot legs.
Right? Yeah, that's what they do in Star Wars, where they need to bring a character. It's like
Drop him into that.
It's like Mecha Frieza, right?
Yeah, exactly. Drop him into that. That what is that? That healing tank. The
Lazarus
Pit?
pit. Yeah.
No. Oh yeah, the Lazarus pit.
Oh, the one from Dragon Ball Z.
No, from the tank in Star Wars. It's
The other one.
Bacta tank.
Bantha or
Bacta.
Bacta tank.
Is that where Luke was?
Yes, Luke was in a Bacta tank.
Uh-oh.
Way to go!
I'm good. It's good.
You're messing with Shaq's fro.
So,
Sorry, Shaq.
I think one of the biggest flaws in this movie.
All of it.
Yeah,
Pacing
is such a huge flaw in this movie. I want to say, first off, my biggest complaint about A New Hope was the end of that movie. The end of the movie. The movie was terrible at the ending. It was remember it was
awards.
well, no, it was like
although that
not
music...
A New Hope, Force Awakens. The ending of Force Awakens is really bad. That movie is really, really good up until it gets to the end where they're like, we found this map to find Luke. We're going to do it. And I thought the movie was going to end there, right? And the next movie was going to be finding Luke and finding the island. That would have been so cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't do that. It just suddenly, boom, we're there. She's handing the lightsaber to Luke. He never grabs it. It's like this 20-minute scene that pans around forever. It's half the movie, right? But that's how it ended. And I was like, that pacing was so weird and it was so bad at the end. I feel like that bad moment of A New Hope just continued through this whole movie. Like, as far as the pacing went, it was like there were things that they would talk about, and then all of a sudden they would just jump there and be there. There was no how I got there, how anything happened. There were so many just like statements that just sum up what's going on, so that we just like shut up and go on.
They
to the
crashed
next.
on the beach, and now they're in the casino. All right, would have been cool to see that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And what about the whole battle sequences, like you said there? I think the battle sequences were atrocious.
Yeah.
Nothing compared to any of them, even 1, 2, and 3.
Ooh, that's tough for me.
Phantom Menace. That with Darth Maul, that was That was really.
No, I'm sorry, but the battle sequences are so much better than all the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, because like the versus the Praetor guards, it was okay, I guess, and then all the shit battles, it was just kind of like.
I did like the fact that they had vibroblades. That's a total Old Republic.
Like police baton style ones.
Well, no. All the
that was cool.
All the blades that the Red Guard had.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those were
cool.
That scene was kind of cool. The little head, like instant pop and off. That was super cool. I know that you're not a fan of it, but I'm a big fan of the Rage Blade. The Rage lightsaber.
What?
I love the way that Kylo's saber is so like struggling to stay within it because he's
built
so
it himself.
pissed, right? But I love that it's just full of his rage and anger. I actually love it. I think it's so it embodies everything he is the moment it comes on. It's just like, I want to break stuff too. Can we do a tantrum? Break me into stuff again, right?
Yeah.
He's the tantrum Jedi. He totally is.
No,
he's a 2-year-old.
Yes, he's such a two-year-old. But I'm such a Vegeta fan that I love that in him. I just do love that in him.
I wish, though, that when he was fighting, he utilized the crossguard more. I think I almost saw it in one scene. But
they did when he was fighting the.
But even then, it was like I don't know. I just felt like it was underutilized because it's such a cool feature. They should have a scene where it's
such
like
a cool feature.
Someone's fighting him where it's like it like slides down and then he like gets him or whatever. But it always seems like it's just kind of in the background, like he has a crossguard. Even though it's like the coolest part about his lightsaber is that it has a cross. I don't know.
That and the twitchy lightsaber.
Yeah.
That is, I like the angry blade.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of it. I know you don't like it. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's great. It's full of all of his angst and rage. It's awesome.
Well, okay, that is why, right there, why a Sith's saber is red.
Because it's full of angst and rage.
Yeah.
His is like overflowing.
There are no natural kyber crystals that are red.
Yeah. I don't think he actually built it with the...
No, they said that he built it.
Well, no, I think he did build it, but I don't think he built it with the little side blades intentionally. I just think the blade is so enraged. It was like, I can't help it.
It just popped out.
Yeah,
they
just...
Oh, whatever.
He's like, go
So you had to focus it.
Yeah. I really think pacing is my biggest complaint about this movie. It's so bad.
Yeah.
There's everything. It's so hurry up and wait. hurry up and wait. Because there were moments of
it was so it was so slow, but at the same time, it felt like it was just running nowhere.
Yeah. I think that between episode, what would that be, 7, and this one, there should have been another movie. I really feel like there should have been a movie between the two of them to explain finding Luke, to flesh that whole part out, because she was there on the island with him. It's really weird and convoluted. It doesn't... There's so much stuff that's just crammed in there that it... I struggle with the points that they decided to slow down on.
It's a central part of the story, but they seem to make it an afterthought.
Yeah, but then at the same time, they focus so much on these weird little points of it that I just don't understand what they were focusing on and what their intent was to convey in a lot of points in this movie.
You know what they were focusing on? That really awful side character. And I don't know what happened to Finn, but I hate him now. By the end, I wanted him to die. I'm like, yes, just kill yourself. Go into the laser, be done. And then she crashed into him. I'm like, oh my god, is she gonna die now? Is she gonna go in the laser? I'm like, nope, they're both... Oh my god. Sorry, I just needed the... I'm angry. I'm angry.
I think that laser...
That's your problem with the movie?
Yeah, right? Yeah. The laser should have been so much more powerful.
Yes.
It really should have. That thing should have... It should have Dragon Ball Z'd again and created this just chasm through everything.
There should have been like this big circular deal where the rock's just barely attached to the top and just crumbling.
Yeah.
And this,
totally.
And then everyone would have been
ditch.
dead. I wanted the rebellion to... I wanted all of them to die.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I don't even know. I'm sorry. I'm just... How about... I'll just be silent for a while, and then I'm just going to have like a couple minutes.
Don't lie.
My other... Yeah, right? My other complaint as far as the battles go... The Empire's... Is this really... Is it like the Sharks and the Jets? Like, is that what's really going on here? Like, is it just these little street gangs that are fighting each other? Or does the Empire live up to its name, and is it a real empire? Like, don't they have, like, 20 million ships?
Yeah,
Why don't
they
come
can't
in...
catch that one. They're like,
Why don't
oh,
they come in on the... What is it? 5 ships that they're fighting? That's all of the rebellion. When they go to the planet, there's not even... There's 1 ship now of the rebellion. They bring in 5 walkers, and they're 1 big gun. That's it? Why isn't there, like, old, like, Roman, like, just the army just keeps coming over the hill, right? And their cool little square blocks, like in the Clone Wars type style, right? Why isn't that happening? There should be a crap load of that.
Why didn't they warp another Star Destroyer in front of... Because they had this, like, you know, like 20-hour chase scene that was going, like, this fast through space. And, like, we can't catch up to them. It's like...
Yeah, because they're sublight.
You can't go fast. Like, you can't just go... Like, they're really just going to wait for them to deplete their resources. You don't think they could figure out any scheme in the meantime?
Yeah.
And you couldn't just send out more fighters? Or just flank them from the sides and block... Like...
I think it's the ego of the Empire. Like, the Empire cannot get over
I'm
its
sick
own
and tired
ego.
of that excuse.
Like, that's what it is, though, right? Because really, the Star Destroyer, if it can destroy a star, it can destroy a base, right? Just fire
Star
a couple
killer
blasts, right? And just blow them up. Like, they're terrible. They're such
granted,
horrible,
though,
horrible.
But that was the one that the one that they destroyed, the one that had that big gun that could fire from space down.
Yeah, but the one that...
They could have had more.
But the one that was left was like the B-52 style, the big winged
giant, like,
bomber thing, right?
the
That thing's
dumbest
gotta have
designs.
better
Oh
That's
my
like
God.
the Galaxy Destroyer, right?
That was
Blow them
huge.
up, dude.
Yeah.
Fire the big gun.
That
You
one-
can still
that
have the
is
glory
the
moment
Empire.
where you go like this, right? If you want, just push the button, dude. Even if it's 2 guys, just click with a key. Like, whatever. You don't need to be there. The way he was like, keep firing, keep firing, keep firing. And then he had to go out there and step out on foot, of course, right? Because it
Well,
has to
that
be
was
this
totally
toe-to-toe
his ego.
battle.
He
Yeah,
could've
yeah,
just-
right.
Could have
Totally.
just fired the laser at him. That's what I would have done. I'm like,
They
all right,
did.
fire the laser again.
The big laser.
Yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah.
big
Because he
one.
walked through the hole, the doorway size, the conveniently doorway-sized hole
Yeah.
that this mega cannon made.
That Finn could drag his dumb, forced love interest through. Oh my god. I hated her so I wanted her to die. They didn't have chemistry. They had fission. They
That
were
was the most-
tearing the movie apart.
That was the most awkward on-screen kiss
Oh
I've
my
ever seen
God.
in my life.
I was-
That was one of my laugh-out-loud moments. It
Kip
like,
was
really?
there, and Kip and I looked at each other like, what? Why? Why is my eye? Oh, my eye hurts.
It's too much Star Wars.
Oh my god! I think it's. Am I actually crying out of my left eye? Oh, it's just an eyelash.
Yeah, there were some cool moments in it that
The
I
scenes where they would like talk through the. I really like that.
Yeah, those were cool. I totally agree with that.
Really well, I think.
And I don't care what you guys say. I like Kylo Ren. I think it's great. I love his just pure angry, angsty. There's no other Jedis around.
He's the character that they want him to be.
Yeah,
he's very much that character.
He plays it so well. I think his shirt off scene was a little bit much. That was a little
like a toad.
weird.
Like, he's like all wide, and he's like, I don't know. He just reminded me of like a human toad. Also,
You're jealous.
I don't want to. He's
so
just
you're
like
saying he's Naruto now?
Yeah,
I don't know, but he's just like this wide. I mean, he's like muscular but smooth, and I just couldn't, like he looks so thin.
Very descriptive.
But at the
muscular,
same
ripply,
time,
and smooth.
he's like
Slightly sweaty.
he's like
yeah,
this.
right. I thought that too.
He
Yeah.
was like this wide, and there was no like curve.
Is that another tear or is it an eyelash?
No, I don't. It's confusion. I don't understand how a human can look. Looks like reminds me
That's
of
the
Frank
Force. That's
Reynolds.
what the dark
Reminds me
side
of
does
Danny
to
DeVito if he was muscular.
And about 5 feet taller.
Also, his face kind of looked like Ajit Pai's, which bugged me. The net neutrality guy. That
The no chin. Is it the weak chin?
kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Which I guess Snoke had that.
Oh my god!
Right?
don't
Snoke
talk
has a
about
weird
Snoke.
chin.
Yeah, don't talk about Snoke. Guess we're just never going to learn about his backstory.
Yeah, that was a little bit.
Oh my
I thought that
God.
was a big letdown. Also,
That was sucked. That was dumb.
again, it's the pacing of the movie. The movie is paced really weird. I think there were a lot of things in this movie that they really tried to emphasize this transition into what they want Star Wars to be, maybe to kind of like modernize it and take it away from that
don't want it to be that.
Well, I don't think anybody that knows Star Wars and loves it for what it was, I think is after seeing this movie should be afraid of what it's going to be.
But so many people like love that. I don't get it.
I think this will be way better than 1, 2, and 3 were, though.
Oh, I think hands down.
and-
I don't think those movies are good.
No,
I'd rather watch those, honestly.
Good for you.
Yeah, the biggest problem with those is the CGI. The green screen and CGI in those is garbage. It's so bad, and it's
because they use it for everything when they didn't need to.
well, and I think it's a classic flaw of all the movies from that era. Like so many movies of that time period, it's like green screen and CGI is new. Let's use it in everything,
Yeah,
right?
the
And
mask.
it just does it right, and I don't know if it's so much its fault or if it's just the time period when it came out, but that's the biggest flaw in that movie for me. Everything is not there, and you can tell. The lighting's weird on everything because it was all digitally created in different light points, and it's just weird, right? This one, I think, the CGI is at least tastefully done to look like that original trilogy. Like, I think it still captures that.
Yes.
Which I give it credit for. There are things that they forcibly do to make it Star Wars, like the weird salt ships that like have to drop the ski and do whatever. That moment pissed me off in the movie so much. You have all these walkers coming at you, and they're trying to shoot you, and you're in your little speeder ships that are hard to hit. But let's drop a foot so we leave this bright red trail that shows exactly where we are the whole time. Right? Doesn't that eliminate your sneakiness like 100%? Like that, I thought that was just a pure, we're Star Wars and these are our classic tropes we have to do moment, so let's put it in there. Right?
Yeah.
And I think there were a lot of moments in this movie that did that, where it's like, we're Star Wars, we got to force this moment in.
And they all every time they did that, they did felt that way.
It felt forced, right?
Yes.
It totally did, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
It was very dark side of the Force. It's too bad. It really is, because I came out of watching the Force Awakens on such a high, like such a rush out of that movie of just, I remember before we did our end of the year review, we watched that one. And I remember I have to like reallocate my list now as far as best movies of the year, right? And as we get closer and closer to that this year, I don't think this one's a contender. It's not going to knock anything off of my top 3. It's not.
No.
And it's really unfortunate for me, because I even feel like Rogue One suffered some of the same pacing issues that this movie suffered.
A little bit, but I
thought
really
Rogue One was way better.
it was.
I agree that it's better. I think that The Force Awakens is better than Rogue One. I liked it better, and maybe that's because it does throw back to all these classic childhood things that I love in Star Wars, and I think it does do it tastefully well. This one, the one we just watched, feels very regurgitated, and it's not as good. But the Rogue One, I got a little taste of that too in there, and I think it's different when it's a story that you already know the outcome.
Yeah.
Right? This is something that we don't know the outcome but I kind of feel like I do now because it's so cliche Star Wars, right?
Except for the one thing they did do is they rebooted the universe. They rebooted everything. It's going to be a fresh start from here out.
The coolest part in this movie was actually when the kid went to grab the broom and it just went into his hand.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That was the coolest part. I came away from that thinking, that's pretty sweet.
But I also hated that child actor. Like in the one scene where he was in, where he's
go,
like,
go, go!
Yeah, like that was so Anakin.
Do you think they may have done that intentionally? I think that might have been.
I don't know. There were some really bad acting moments, and I think
But that's a Star Wars trope right there.
You're right. Luke sucks. He's such a bad actor. Amazing voice actor. Terrible live action.
John Boyega. I don't like him anymore. This movie made me just lose like almost all the faith I have in him. Because one instance that this movie isn't catering to anyone over the age of like 3, which is another thing that bugs me. They were looking in the casino for the guy with the thing, and they're like, and then it like shows the guy with the thing, and then they're like, "That's the guy with the thing," and then they run over there, and then they say it again. They're like, "That's him." I'm like, "What? What? You could have just showed him that. You could have just showed us that was him, and then they would have walked towards him and been like, "Oh, okay."
Now, see, that's what we were saying though about the generational thing. That's the way movies are. They have to tell you.
Oh my god, it was so bad.
Every movie. You look at every movie that's out there now.
Rogue One.
They're all telling you about what's going on like that. They're explaining.
Well,
the
again, though, I wonder if that has to do with Rogue One telling a pre-existing story. We already know how Rogue One ends. We already know the story.
It's the little things. It's the little things in there that are like.
To me, this movie was that moment in Rogue One where I forget the main chick's name in
Jyn
it, but
Erso.
she goes back to find her dad in that pointless moment in that movie where then he like dies in her arms, and they could have just never gone there to begin with because he doesn't say anything that's important at all, and nothing happens, and then they go off to deal with everything that matters as far as that original trilogy goes. That moment in that movie I think is garbage, and it doesn't need to be in there at all. It's just to make the movie 2 hours long.
Yeah, it's also where she gets betrayed by what's his name.
Yeah, I just think it could have been handled differently.
Yeah.
It's like, again, it's that whole spelling everything out type thing, and it's like, I don't know. It's tough to say.
Maybe that was like the pre. Yeah, I guess that scene is basically this entire movie. But even then, that was like.
Or the last
I felt
scene.
at least a little emotional. I felt no emotion. What was her name? The dumb character that I'm talking about. The forced love interest. I can't even remember her name.
Yeah. I can't remember her name either.
The moment I saw her, I'm like, okay, she's a terrible actor. And then she kept staying in the movie. I'm like, they're not going to make her a character, a side character. And they did. They did.
And she's going to come back.
Oh my god, that's the worst part. I just wanted them to just burn. I hate the rebels now. Oh my god.
And since we're spoiling stuff, can I just say it? The moment I didn't want to happen in this movie totally does. The total the total Empire cloak falls to the ground.
My God.
Obi-Wan moment
that was
happens.
So
in this
dumb.
movie.
It just happens.
Yeah.
I
thought right away I was like, oh.
Yeah, but they foreshadowed that it was going to happen that way.
Not really. What?
Yeah.
I think they did based on 2/3 of this movie up till that point. I immediately thought they're going to just cliche that.
But like that was such
I
a
mean
weird
they
time.
foreshadowed that was going to kill him. Doing that way.
Really?
When did they do that?
Okay, so when the first time that him and Ray talk, he's how are you doing this? You know, he's like, I can't see your surroundings. You're not doing this. That would kill you if you did this. If you were to, teleport yourself there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
okay, I didn't notice that. But that's
that
like such a small thing that you have to notice on your second time, or maybe.
I noticed that one my first time.
Oh wow, no one cares.
The only thing that I missed that I was looking for was I didn't notice the books.
Which I noticed on my first time.
Yeah,
both of you guys
noticed
noticed that
too.
Yeah, but I didn't.
Which I think just now says that they're emphasizing that there's another generation of Jedi.
I think those books are somehow going to set up the Old Republic, and that's going to be what.
There will be another Rogue One prequel trilogy.
Well, no. I just mean because I heard that the Old Republic is going to be the next trilogy. So, like, I think
they said it wasn't going to be.
Yeah, I think that's all rumor. That's all internet hopes and dreams. No, they're not releasing anything about what that new trilogy is going to be. But
Old Republic would be awesome, though.
Well, and they keep saying it's not going to have anything to do with this original trilogy as far as like the Skywalker story goes.
Good.
but it's got to be the same thing, right?
past
Like it's
die.
totally going to deal with the Force, it's totally going to deal with the Rebellion, and it's totally going to deal with the Empire. How do they not have those things in it and call it
sick
Star
and
Wars?
tired of that.
Well, it won't be the Empire because the Empire doesn't exist yet. Because the Empire is the rise after the Senate falls.
Yes.
am
Okay,
the
that's it. So the Senate, we'll call it the Senate then. Yeah. The light and the dark. How about that? It's going to have all those key elements in it that every Star Wars movie has.
Yeah. I think.
I was going to say the one thing I did take away from this movie that I kind of liked was how much the movie emphasized the balance in the Force.
Yeah, that was
Like
cool.
I did think that was kind of cool. There were really
scene
cool
was
moments.
Really good.
Yeah.
With like the
delayed little snaps that went down. Yeah.
like I'm still thinking about that. That was cool.
Yeah. But they kept bringing that.
But then it
point.
didn't have any
The thing that
payoff
was
to it.
cool was the light speed ship into the
That was
Empire
the
fleet,
coolest moment. Yeah.
and the way it obliterates through everything and spreads
Yeah.
out.
Dead silent.
Yes.
I loved that it was just dead silent. Not until you were like in the ship and seeing everything happen did it make sound. That was really cool. I was a big fan of that.
I don't know. It felt like, but there was just one of those scenes where everyone was like, "Oh, clapping because this happened," and "Oh, clapping because Luke met R2D2 again," and it just felt like all these scenes were there. So, oh, let's clap.
I think that
That made no sense.
That I have an issue with C-3PO in these movies.
It was just totally like pushed to the
So-
side.
But it's like he's in there for such brief moments
Yeah,
that
just have him in or don't.
he's almost like Jar Jar in these movies. Like it's like it's
yeah.
not when I think of R2,
sir!
right? But when I think of R2 and C-3PO, to me they're like you have to have those in a Star Wars movie. In that original trilogy, they're so important and they're so like the neutral points in this like emotional drama that's going on, right? And I love that about them. They're such a balancing part
They
of the
were
movie.
the comic, kind of the main comic relief.
Yeah,
Other
well,
than
I
Han
almost
Solo.
feel like they were like our point of view of the movie, where it's like we're kind of neutral here, watching this crazy light side and
Yeah.
this crazy dark side mashing, where we're kind of just robots in the middle observing it, right?
Yeah.
And in these ones,
But
they're
the comic-
just so pushed to the side.
But the comic relief in those two, like you're saying though, was more sarcastic comedy.
Yeah,
You had to
instead
get
of
it
just the
instead of the
blatant-
whole.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
I'm turning you to no. Never mind.
No, but you know what I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
just-
no, it's totally like just meant for little kids.
yeah.
Like that. Woohoo! I hate that. I hate every time. And like all these movies where it's like they're flying the ship, they do a spin. Whoa! You don't need to do that. Oh my god, it bugs me.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Ratchet and Clank movie. Just that like that dumb like woo kid humor. Like every time they fly, they're like whoa, whoa. Like no, stop. You're an adult. If you're an adult and you're in that situation, you don't care when you shoot one thing down. You're like, oh god, you're freaking out. You know.
I also think I would have preferred Chewie if he would have had some gray. Why doesn't Chewie have some gray? Like make him look older.
Well, what's the lifespan of a?
Of a Wookiee?
yeah.
I don't know that either, but I still think it's like at least a little bit. Like give him a little bit of gray stash or a little bit of like he's almost like a dog alien type person. The first thing that goes gray on a dog is usually its
Is the
chin,
muzzle, yeah.
And it's like give him a little bit of that. To me, he almost looks, because it's more modern, he almost looks fresher and younger
Yeah.
than he does in those original ones. That kind of bugged me too. I think that in their effort to make them so similar and capture what made those first ones special, I feel like they're discrediting them to a certain degree because they're not letting that part of it shine. Like with what they do with C-3PO, what they do with even the Millennium Falcon in this one, what they do with...
It's just a convenient plot device.
It's like these things they're forcing in there because you've got to get them, and so they give
Yeah.
you that little taste of them, but they're not really validated in there,
Yeah.
right? Like the Millennium Falcon comes in this and has its awesome moment, but half a second after that happens, it flies away, and then we never see it again until they all get in it and go take off.
Yeah.
Like you never even get to watch it take down all those the TIE fighters.
Well, because it goes
Wikipedia
Wikipedia, how long do they live?
claims that they live to be about 400 years old.
Yeah, he's got a couple
Okay,
years.
but to be fair, we don't know how old he was in the
He's
beginning.
supposed to be about 230 now.
230 now.
God.
I think he should have some gray. When did you get your first gray?
18.
Right? Come on.
What?
I think you should have a little bit of gray, just a touch of gray. I don't know.
So much went wrong, but a little bit went right. I think everything with Snoke, or most of the stuff with Snoke and Kylo Ren, I actually really did enjoy.
Well, and then the moments like with Rey and and Kylo Ren where they're like meeting with their minds and
Yeah.
whatever. Like that was cool. Some of the fighting with the lightsabers. I think there were some
The two
lightsaber
scenes.
moves. Yeah, right. But some of those things that went on in there were actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And there were some of the coolest lightsaber moments that actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some really epic, like, I feel like a kid again and I'm watching Star Wars moments. They were just so, as quickly as I went up and on the edge of my seat, I fell back in it again with this like
my
absurd
God.
kind of laughter to myself that like,
Well, like
they went there.
when they tossed that guy into the shredder
That was funny.
in that right, you know, they're doing the lightsaber scene, they toss him, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
that was
really-
such a brief moment too.
I know, but it just totally killed the whole seriousness of what that.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's another really good point. Is that anytime the movie has tension, there's some dumb joke, some dumb quip, those dumb. I can't do the noise, but I hear it all the time at GameStop. 'Cause it's like people keep pressing the action figure for it. Something would just ruin the tension of the scene.
You know what you do? You take the batteries out and just say they died.
Oh my God, no.
I think that
That's a good.
one of the other, which I think this is all kind of boiling to, is that I one of my other major issues with it is that this is such a movie of convenience, right? Like there's so many moments in this movie where they just happen to meet the person
gonna cut
that
your
knows
head off.
this other person that happens to know the exact person that you need to know now that can solve that has the one piece that solves this puzzle. That's like, dude, we're talking about galaxy and planets and like light years from each other and stuff. But we all still act like we're living in this little small town and everybody knows everybody.
I can also.
It's a
hack
little too
into
convenient for me, I think.
Yeah. I'm also the hacker that you need that has all the skills necessary.
Actually, so no,
Again, convenient,
Him
though.
though, you looked at him. He opened up his deal there, and he had all those security slices, and that's straight out of Old Republic right there.
Yeah. I actually kind of liked his character.
Yeah.
And I
That
liked
was-
his little stutter weirdness
Yeah.
that he did, and his little awkward social tics that he had.
It
I
made him unique. And I was like, oh my
cared for him. I thought
Yeah.
he was cool. I hope he
he's
we
definitely
didn't
coming
see
back.
the end of him. Yeah.
I
To
hope
me,
he
he's
kills
almost like the
Finn
Boba
and
Fett
his dumb
equivalent.
girlfriend.
Okay, maybe.
You know, he's not a bounty hunter, but he's that weird. But he's not really on the good side. But doesn't necessarily isn't all out for all chaos either. You know, he's out to make. He's kind of like a bounty hunter because he's out to make a buck for him. Right,
Yeah.
is his priority. I really got a Boba Fett vibe from him.
okay.
Maybe, and did we ever get to see the ship that he took?
No.
What if maybe it'll be Boba Fett-ish, right? Like, who knows? I don't know how much they'll
Those
tie that
bombers,
in.
when I first saw those bombers, I'm like, those almost look like the Slave One because of like
Nah,
how
kind
like
of.
at first, but then it showed their full shape, and I was like, oh, the one scene with the bomber scene was cool.
Yeah, my only issue with the beginning of the movie, I
Except
think
for the way those three get destroyed so easily, that pissed me
Yeah,
off.
just
well, the bombs blew up in him.
no, but then,
Yeah, but the fact
like a
that
little
it
like,
took everything
some
else out.
debris like touched the other one. It's like, do you really not armor these ships
and,
better?
and another thing too,
They're full of bombs.
Yeah.
that whole scene there, with that, where was the major X-wing TIE fighter battles going on in there? They had a couple of little scenes. And what's with the fat guy getting killed in every single? That's like a major freaking X-wing trope that's in every damn Star Wars movie.
Don't be the fat guy in the X-wing.
Wait,
No.
where was the guy? Oh, that good actor. I like him. He was in that movie Big Ass Spider. He was in Heroes, the Time Cop. You know, he was in the last Star Wars. He was
Time
another
Cop?
Yeah, he was like a cop.
The mental guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, never mind. Not Time. Yeah, but
He's my
where
favorite
was
because he always does this. That's how you have to put one hand on your head. If
Yeah.
you have mental powers, it doesn't work. It's like Cyclops and his blaster.
But where was he? Because he was in the last movie, and I thought he was pretty
With
good.
his blaster, he's opening it just to be.
Yeah.
Clear.
he's
always
flipping
beaming.
the ruby laser.
He's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
beaming.
I'm always beaming, beaming with excitement.
Can't it be like a welding helmet though, where it's like an automatic flip? Like, come on, the technology exists.
Should get like a
It,
button.
it takes a mental trigger. That's why he's always got to have Gene with him.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
X-Men.
Fire, Gene! Fire! I'm looking! Fire!
Yeah. Don't have to say it out loud, Scott. Yeah. There were. Okay, so maybe the Empire and maybe the Rebels are both these total Sharks and the Jets gangs where there's only like a handful of each left, right?
No.
Well,
So maybe that's all the only ships that
Well,
are
they-
in the
they
Empire. That's
established
the
that
only walkers they have.
At The Force Awakens, they established that it was just the remnants of the Empire that, or what the remnants of the Empire became the First Order. So.
Yeah, so
And
like
I guess
this
it's a
is
good
like a
point that,
street
like-
gang. That's why they all know each other. That's why it all conveniently works out. That oh, how do we solve this problem? Who's related to this guy? I don't know. Everybody ask the person next to you, right? Because we're the only 100 left. So it's got to be somebody in this room.
This dumb Empire versus Rebels thing. It's always the same. It needs to end.
So in the next movie,
Did you not just...
in the next movie, there's going to be 5 from the Empire and 5 from the Rebels, and that's it.
They're just going to kill each other. Just end it all, please. Just kill Finn and his dumb girlfriend. I'll be so happy.
I was pretty disappointed in the explosion scene with Phasma.
Oh, she's coming back. I know.
I get, and she'll be all robotic, right?
Yeah,
totally gonna be Mecha Frieza.
Well, or I hope that the armor would be singed to her.
Right?
I don't know. And even in that fight scene, I was
Tell me she rides a Space Harley. I kept thinking that she's got so much chrome, she has to ride a Space Harley.
Chrome dome.
Right?
What does that even?
That's a throwback to Ninja Turtles.
That's
total
dumb.
Shredder.
That's dumb. That's dumb. Chrome dome. What is it? What am I watching? Oh, and then when the lady was like,
maybe all that hardware is for making coleslaw.
Yeah, exactly.
oh, random tangent. The lady that was the dumb captain that was just kind of mean, looked a lot like my English teacher, and also sounded a lot like her, or like
you
my
mean
English
the Admiral?
teacher from 10th grade.
Was she hot? Typically, it's the English teacher that's hot.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's a language
Take that
teacher
back.
of
There was
some
a
sort.
Take that back.
English
You know who my English teacher was?
No.
It's Quo.
Oh, that's terrible.
There was a
she's not
dude
hot.
English
No.
teacher in my
She's hot in
school,
all the
and
wrong ways.
everyone wanted to bang him. He was a
He was an English teacher?
he's a sexy boy.
Did you want to bang him?
No,
No.
no,
No.
bang is mine. No, we talked about comics and stuff, which was cool because he showed me that.
See, he wanted to bang him.
No, he showed me that comics, you can take comics seriously at a college literature level. So thanks, Mr. Burnett. Shout out to you. Point is, also, why did the lady wait so long to watch all those rebel ships get killed before she's like, I'm now going to turn the ship around? It's like, that should have been the first thing you did.
Yeah.
I agree.
I
but
thought that too.
Why didn't they do that with the medical frigate? Why didn't they do that with the other one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They knew they were going to lose the reserves, other than the fact that they did say that they were concentrating fire on the other ships. So, maybe by the time she had turned it around and shot it off, they didn't have time to redirect back at her. I don't know.
Do you think that in the next one,
It'll
it's
be
going
good,
to be... yeah, right. Do you think that it's going to be this, rise again of both factions?
Probably.
Like, the Empire and the Rebellion are both going to, rebuild their numbers, and we're just going to kind of go back to square one and just start
That's
over
exactly
again.
what I think is
Oh,
going to
wait,
happen.
no.
Yeah.
I
I kind of
hope for
feel
that.
that way, too.
No, it's...
They're both getting down to just the dregs of both of their crews.
They do have one thing, though. They've kept the same bad guy for 2 movies now, and they're going to have him for a 3rd.
Yeah.
But not Snoke. Or I don't know.
They might. I doubt
He
it.
comes
but
back.
I
doubt it,
want
too.
to know who Snoke is. Is he...
I did really enjoy the scene where Kylo was knocked out, and the ginger and a ruler guy comes in, and he pulls his robe back and
Yeah.
goes to grab his blaster, and he's just gonna kill him. But all of a sudden he twitches and gets up, and he's like, "Oh, you're back! I'm so happy to see that." It's like, just shoot him! Shoot him! It would have been so great. It would have been so funny and awesome.
You know what was funny? Yoda.
I actually liked
liked
Yoda.
Yoda.
I thought it was great.
Laughed. He looked so dumb. And yes, you make a point that it looks like the old animatronics, but we have new animatronics now that look better.
Don't care. I appreciate the old Yoda for being the old Yoda.
And it was forced in. It was one of those moments where, oh, Yoda's here, gotta clap.
Yeah, I do agree that
I wanted
that it
to,
is-
and I would have clapped for that.
Don't
one.
clap.
I don't clap at movies, but I
Clap when
would
the
have.
plane lands.
I think
It's one of
that
those things. You're that guy.
Yeah.
Clap when the plane lands. You know?
No, dude, I'm the guy you understand all the physics of this word? This is really cool. Do you see?
then you hated this movie.
Oh God,
Yeah.
yes. Oh God, yes. Let's open an airlock right in the middle of the
Yeah,
of an obliterated.
she had the Force, dude.
Oh
Yeah,
my
but her
God.
force work was keeping her
Sorry.
alive, not everybody else.
I don't know how I forgot about the worst scene in this movie. Should I just...
You could say it.
Okay, I
don't
feel
think
like
it
I'm
ruins
interrupting
anything.
a lot, but I'm
What's
I'm
different?
appalled.
Yeah,
Basically, and there was that really cool scene in the trailer where Kylo Ren you could tell he was closing in on Leia, and they're have a mind connection. He's like, oh my God, am I going to do it? And that scene was really intense. I'm like, okay, and the movie's coming back up because it was going down. I'm like, and then he doesn't pull the trigger, and then these 2 TIE fighters just come in, boom, 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 just bomb it, and she's dead. And I'm like, oh my God. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm actually surprised they didn't do this whole death for Leia. And I'm like, but at least now there's sort of some resolve, I guess. And then it shows her floating in space, and I'm like, well, why is it? I mean, yeah, we get it. She's dead. Is it gonna have like a rest in peace, whatever? I'm like, no, that'd be too tacky. And then she like her hand moves, and I'm like, no. and then it moves some more, and she opens her eyes, and I'm like, are you? And she flies towards the spaceship, and she lives.
She tractor beams herself.
Oh my god, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. She's like flying through space, and then everyone's like, "What?" And they let her in, and then she's fine. Just lives. She outlives Luke. I feel like I don't want to be disrespectful, but like,
Mark Hamill's still alive.
Yeah.
But like, what are they gonna do with her in the next movie? Is she just gonna be CG the whole time?
She was CG the whole this time.
She was.
I heard that they didn't use that. Out of respect, they weren't going to use a bunch of CG.
Really?
That's what I heard, but I don't know how much of that. I remember
for
before
it,
the
but it
movie
looked
came
real,
out.
because you could tell in the last one where they were CG, right? Like you could tell with her that it was CG.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to like it. I really want to like it. I really feel like it. This movie was a blatant transition from the classic stuff into what Star Wars is going to be, and I'm a little bit deflated about what it's turning into, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm not that I'm going to like boycott the next one. I'm still going to go see it.
Oh, yeah.
And I almost think the next one could be better because it won't have those weird abrasive transitions happening, right? Like I think that was a big issue with this one. There won't you're having two different worlds like colliding in this movie, and in the most awkward, non-organic way, right? And then so maybe the next one the transition will have been
which
completed.
is something that we said about Force Awakens too.
Yeah, it kind of had some of those issues too, right? And so maybe that'll be resolved in the next one. They'll be done with that part of it. I kind of hope so.
Yeah,
I'd rather see Star Wars go into a new direction, which I think they do definitely allude to that. Like that's definitely something that they emphasize in this. But I hope that new direction is willing to kind of leave behind what's sacred instead of dragging it along the whole way. Right? I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about it, and I'm a little bit scared.
Yeah. Well, I want to be clear. I don't think this is a bad movie.
No, I don't. I've seen worse movies.
I don't think in the Star Wars realm it's the worst Star Wars movie, but I don't think it's anywhere close to the best.
No, I totally agree.
So
I think any of them from the original trilogy is better than this movie.
yeah.
I think Rogue One's better. I think that
Rogue One's way better.
yeah, and I think
I love
that
Rogue One.
The Force
Rogue One's
Awakens
got a
I think
few
is
things I don't
better.
care for, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that in Force Awakens, all the stuff that they brought back that was classic from that original trilogy, they gave it more purpose and more kind of meaning and relevance to be there. In this one, it was more cliche,
Yeah.
which is a little bit. It's offensive to those of us that grew up with all those classic things as kids. Like, let them just stay classic and let them be what they are, and transition into that new thing. I don't have to watch the next movies if they don't have any of that classic stuff I want, but don't drag that stuff into it and ruin it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, which I'm not saying any of that's easy. I think that's I think for them to even take on the task of going into doing more Star Wars stuff, especially after that first trilogy that everybody hates, right? Or the second one which is the first one. Yeah, the first one. But after the results of that, to try and do it again, I think is super ballsy, and I do think that there are some things that they did right. I don't think it's the worst movie ever by any means. As we ragged a ton, but we're pleasantly surprised by Justice League. Do you think it's better or worse than Justice League? I was thinking that's like a good.
I had a
kinda
better
standard.
time watching Justice League.
Yeah. Even though that was, I think it had some of the
Yeah.
same issues that this movie did. Pacing is messed up in Justice League. There's some awful characters in Justice League, but I think some of that classic stuff they did get it right and did some classic moments that I wanted.
At least I don't know.
Based
plot
on
was so
anticipation
boring.
beforehand,
Yeah.
Justice League wins hands down.
Yeah.
But based on what I think is a better movie, this is way better.
Yeah. As a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's also important to remember that this is the second part of a trilogy. which I think.
They still have time to redeem it.
Well, but I also think that that's a weird spot for a movie to be, because I think Empire is the exception as far as a sequel being amazing, right? Like, it's not commonplace for the sequel, which is a movie that builds up to the climax and then never gets there, right?
Yeah.
Because you got the third one to then now hit that point and then resolve it for the rest of the movie. So we haven't seen that moment yet. So it's tough to judge it on all.
Empire does such a good job of setting a tone of. I think Empire is the one that sets the tone of the universe.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it does a really good job of hitting like a groundbreaking, forever nerd moment in movies, right? The moment when he finds out Vader is his father. Like, that is a moment that we will never that we'll never hear the end of, right?
Yep.
And that happens in a sequel. And that's such an awesome climactic moment that then comes back to such devastation, and everybody's just disheveled and like scattered across, and like, how are they going to pull this team together? And it leaves on such a high note after such an impactful, like, low moment. Like, it's such a somber but awesome moment in that movie. I give that movie so much credit for especially being a sequel that does such a awesome climax, but also such a somber moment at the same time. Like, I've never seen a movie balance that moment that well. And I don't think this movie did it at all. I don't think that it ends. It doesn't have that, like, dueling emotions at the end of the movie, and it's like, I don't know how I feel at the end of it.
It's just like,
what the
see
hell's
you next
going
time.
on now? Yeah.
Thanks for your money.
Kind of.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did kind of
Just
feel that way,
ends.
but
It just ends, and
Yeah.
there's no emotion. It's just like, it doesn't end on a high note or a low note. It just like, all right, there's going to be a third one. See you then,
Right?
or see you in the next spin-off. Hopefully that one's good. Now I'm just done.
Just
right.
done. He signed off. He's not going to see any more Star Wars.
That's fine.
No, I'm gonna. I mean, I
Maybe what
like
they're-
the prequels more.
Maybe it's actually planned really well, because now you're going to go see the third one,
God, I'm
and your
gonna love
expectations are going to be so low that you're going to come out of it like, that was so much better than The Last Jedi, right? I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
So let's put a number on it,
Oh my god.
right? We have to put a number on the
3.
movie.
No, 2 point.
That bad?
You guys go.
That's
I
pretty
need to
bad.
Think about this.
I'm going to give this movie, I'm going to give it a 5. I think the movie's okay. I think okay is the perfect description for this movie. It's okay. It's fine.
I'm gonna go 6.5.
6.5. He's a little more okay. Mm-hmm. That's better than okay.
Oh, okay, now that I'm thinking about it, there were some really cool scenes. I think Kylo Ren and some of Rey. No, I think the best actor in this movie was Kylo Ren.
He played his part.
Yeah. Whoever.
He played his part, but he played his...
Poe.
Really, I think
was
Rey did
okay.
pretty good too, though.
Yeah. There
think
were points with Rey.
She
where I was
sells
like,
her character, I think, for the most part, pretty well, because she has all this force in her, right? And she's totally the successor of
she's,
the
like,
force,
confused.
but nobody will help her.
Yeah.
Nobody will help point her in the right direction. The one dude that will just wants to exploit her, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I actually like her character, and she comes across that way in the movie. She's so confused. And I'm also confused by the movie, but I appreciate that in her character, because she's in this weird limbo position in the movie. I think she does her job really well.
Yeah. 3.
3?
Yeah. When this movie ended, I was. I don't know if you could hear. I was laughing.
Yeah, I had some laugh out loud moments, and not giggly. Oh, I feel like a little schoolgirl. This is awesome, but like, that's absurd.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I agree with that.
But I mean, I guess I can understand where you guys are coming from. It's just like, I don't know. For me, I just hate the stereotypical way this movie acts, and it just feels like it's just a cash grab. I don't know. It's hard to formulate thoughts now that I'm
you
just
can't
dead.
have a Star Wars anything right now without it being a cash grab.
I think that's totally true.
Yeah.
It is just exactly that's what it is. Yeah. Why do you think they released the original 3 9 different times?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a little sad, a little disheartening, but it's not the worst movie I've seen. So
Yeah, no, it's not. They're worse.
yeah.
So how did you guys feel about your meads?
About our meads, about my daddy's
Yeah.
mead. You got a little more? You want to kill it off, or no?
If
A
you
little sample?
drink that, we'll be even.
We'll be if I drink this.
If you drink
we'll
that, we'll
be even.
we'll
Oh,
be
okay.
even. I've been holding off, making
All right.
sure
All
not.
right. I appreciate that. You're such a dude.
If I didn't, I'd never hear the end of it.
Yeah, right. It's true. It's true. You still won't. Just to be clear.
What?
I'll think of something. Don't worry about it. So I think way better than The Last Jedi. This is not the last mead. I think this is awesome. I really think my dad did a really good job.
I think he did a great job.
I'm pretty impressed. This is a lot better than not that the regular honey mead was bad, but I totally prefer this. I really like
which one?
Just his regular honey mead. Like
your
the one that he made that doesn't have any fruit or anything else in it. He did some weird ones with all this different. Just like he was like, let's put this, and there's like 6 different kinds, right? But this one, I think, I wish he would have measured out everything and known how much he put in. Maybe he did. I don't want to discredit him if he did do that, but I kind of doubt it. Based on his his being able to come up with the alcohol content, right? He doesn't have any source numbers to go.
Yeah,
on. But
when I started brewing initially, though, I was very particular about my times and my amounts of ingredients.
Yeah,
but I was very bad about taking that initial gravity reading.
Yeah, well, and I could see. I bet with doing anything,
and once you pitch your yeast, you can't take the reading. You'll throw it off. So
yeah, well, and I'm sure with like any thing that you do that's new, you're going to learn so much.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works. But I don't think he should change this recipe very much at all. I think this is really good. I'm going to totally put this up there with one of the better meads I've had this year, and I've had a lot of different types of mead this year.
Yeah.
So I'm going to big props, Dad. Awesome.
Yeah,
please make more mead. Don't be surprised if there's a couple more bottles missing off of your mead shelf. And I'm going to give this, I'm going to give it an 8. I think it deserves a solid 8. I think it's great.
I'm going to do 7.5.
All right.
I think it's really good.
Hear that, Dad? So you know.
I'm sorry. 7.55.
7.55. All right. Another 5. It wasn't a stutter.
No, it was just And on that note, we're done.
Wow. And, I think this does a really good job of being a ginger beer, but it doesn't do too much more. But like I said, it's really good. I think it's just a 7.75. There's not much I can really say. It's just a ginger beer. Yeah, that's really all it is. So if you don't like it,
it's not overly sweet. It's not overly gingery. It doesn't punch you in the face.
It has a bit of that punch, but I prefer
Ginger's
that.
Supposed to have that.
Yeah. Well, you're saying all.
What was that?
I was just looking for more information.
No, okay, yeah, no, it does have that gingery punch. Like it just tastes kind of like a good, like a well-made ginger beer. Now I saw at the IGA that Cock and Bull has 2 other types. So I think the next couple ones are gonna be the next ones because I like it and I'm interested. I would like a little more, maybe other flavor or
Would you like a little more cock or a little more ball?
All right. Point is, yeah, I think 7.75. It's good as a ginger beer. It's not something you're gonna slam down. I'd keep it in my root beer fridge.
Nice.
Yeah.
In the back, so nobody else will drink it.
Well, I wouldn't
or in
have
the door,
to,
so everybody can drink it.
I don't know. I feel like not a lot of people like ginger, or at least in my generation.
Yeah, I love ginger.
But yeah. There's not really much I can say about it.
That's why I married one.
Because if you just kind of imagine a good ginger beer,
I wasn't going to go there.
What it is.
You knew I was going.
I know.
I'd do it for you.
All right, yeah, I think that's
Should we wrap it up?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, right in front of the camera.
Oh, whoops.
Glory hog. All right. To all the nerds.
Through all the fuzz.
Bottoms up.
Let's get Nerdbuzzed.
Talking about beer.
Good job, Mark.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for our best of 2017 coming at you next.
Marcus and Jeremiah, you're on Nerdbuzzed.
I like that he doesn't drink anything, but he sounds like he's wasted. Right?